warm greetings, an esteemed member of the jury, and my advisor Norma Suleiman Garcia Fonseca. My name is Marta Liliana Mosquera Pascuas, and today I'm honest to defend my rich project title, Pedagogical Arrangement, the Activity Process in Educational Environment. This study it's not merely a requirement for my degree. It is a response to the critical disconnect I observed during my practice in the process to a critical disconnect I observed during my practice in Swatch. The gap between pedagogical theory and the rigid reality of the classroom. I propose by transforming the arrangement of the space. We transform the capacity of the student to think, include, and learn. Data sheet, type of paper, Richard Lane, author, advisor, keywords. Keywords. Statement of the problem. Let's look at the reality of ninth grade, the classroom in the Swatch. While a global trend for the OECD 2030. Emphasis student engagement or local really often remains teacher centered. In Colombia, the Ministry of Education tracked AB1 level for graduated, yet performance gap persists. Why? Because traditional classroom in the country such as access restricting controlling for my students. This rigid instruction limited their phonemics awareness and increased what step correction calls the affective fixture, the anxiety that prevents language acquisition. My problem statement asks how can we move from receptive passivity to an ecosystem of inquiry. I read little objectives, general objectives. This study will analyze the impact of autonomy and critical thinking of students, investigating of how the use of activity-based pedagogical approach contribute to strengthening educational environment. This will be archived through the design and implementation of relative teaching strategies. And a specific objectives created a set of pedagogical arguments that incorporated the strategy of the inquiry cycles, thinking its account the records and specific characteristic of the closed and educational environment. Promote active student participation and their role as resources in their own learning process, putting on the practice the pedagogical strategies established during class session, and in the end determine the activeness of the pedagogical strategies in transforming in the educational environment through the collection of evidence and the examination of the result. Methodology. And I utilize the pedagogical action research EP model as a teacher researcher. I didn't use observed. I intervened. I followed 4 phases cycles. Need assessment, strategic action, observation, and crystal reflection. I use a mixed appropriation, combining qualitative metrics, which qualified field theories, and questions in the classroom. This allowed me to see not just if students were improving, but how their relationship with English was shining through the technological mediation. Among these, we find action research meets approach, cycling phases, instrument, 10 different models. The results were transformed. We saw and in the part cognitive impact within the activity cycles, but more importantly, the affective filter, the fear of making a mistake, dropped by 7 and 2 by using ICT as a bridge. Students moved from being passive recipient to being manager of their own phonetic inquiry. We archived 35 measurable improvement in English articulation because students were now investigating their own speech patterns using their smartphone as laboratories in the classroom. in the investigation in the classroom, a ninth grade student in the active reaches and read their own English learning. I feel in the student rule change significantly as they now investigated independently in the long investigated. This part is significant. The integration of technological mediation and the gamified strategies stabilize the emotional environment of the classroom, significantly reducing anxiety and fear of making mistakes when producing speech orally in a foreign language. This my student the lack the technical recourse in a part investigative. In discussion in the pedagogical support flexible arrangement energy collaborative learning. This part cognitive impact in activity cycles reinforces reflexive thinking in classroom. This in the institution educated and my student in the investigation and dependent directive instruction the tutor and the tutors. The riches helped the boys not only to limit themselves to the teacher and instruction, but also helped with the investigative aspect not only of English and different skills, but also in other subjects. In the classroom transformation, flexible pedagogical arrangement proved to be fundamental catalysts for student autonomy by integrating technological tools. Rote learning was transforming the classroom into the laboratory of critical think and linguistic discovery is necessary. These percentages is different in the long investigation in the institution, in the reduction of anxiety and fear marketing, students learning their own phonetic in the different topic in the classroom, and important articulation. To conclude it in the conclusion and one recommendation for the process to conclude pedagogical